one. Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It is independent showcase time again, and I'm now today or this evening talking to another company that has had a great 2024 and is going to have an even better 2025. As we obviously work, as some of you guys know, we work for Ignite and we do share a lot of the talents from Ignite with this company. It is United Wrestling. Guys, how are you guys doing?
Oh, doing great, thank you.
We're great.
Brilliant, good stuff. Obviously, weather is, I don't know what it's like, but we have weather warnings at time of recording. And the next day, hopefully everyone's okay. I know people in Ireland may be struggling, but guys, great to see you. I haven't been to a United show yet. I say yet. That will happen. I keep getting told from Tommy Kyle and the people and Chris Aries to get down there and come and see you guys. Big first things first. Look, 2024. How was that for United?
2024 was like proper.
It was a big pop for us.
Yeah,
it was amazing. I mean,
proper breakout year. Really.
Yeah,
it's certainly how it felt. You know, we've been running since 2018, but we had a pandemic in the middle of there as well. But yeah, 2024 we did the most amount of shows we've ever done in a year, and it was just phenomenal. Every single show sold out. Every single match, just top to bottom, fantastic.
And also, we're hearing more about ourselves out there. Getting feedback from the fans, but also from the talent that we have on each.
People genuinely seem to care about the product that we're putting out, which is fantastic. Exactly what we want.
It's interesting because what do you think made it click all of a sudden? You say it's a breakout year. Is it quality of matches? Is it storylines? What is it for you guys that has made it click last year?
I think storylines for me. We've always tried to book our shows the same right back from the very first one, which was focusing more on storylines than exhibition matches. But obviously it's taken a little while for that to catch on, and then just the fantastic storylines we had tied up with the amazing people we got to work with. It just all clicked together and with two of the most beautiful venues that I've certainly seen in British wrestling. It all just clicked together really, really nicely.
I think as well, you could say we've been lucky to hit just the right time with some upcoming talent as well. So there's been let's say good timing there as well, which has helped.
Definitely. So, I mean, in terms of like talent and everything like that, where do you stand with the talent in the UK at the moment? I mean, there's just so much of it. Obviously, there is rumours that WWE are doing an exit or like I don't know what they call it now. What do you call it?
Is it the ID? Is that the thing you mean?
They're kind of doing now. They're coming over here for like to give the UK guys an opportunity to obviously get some. I don't know if it's an ID as such, but tryouts. That was the worst. Jeez, it's been a long day. Tryouts in the UK. I mean, there is just so much talent here now. I mean, I've noticed it. I mentioned a couple: Chris Aries, Tommy Kyle. There's a lot of talent that goes under the radar a lot in the UK. That they work so hard. And it's people like the Lunas, as I said, the Chris Aries. Are you finding that now more that there is just so many hidden gems out there in the UK scene at the minute?
Honestly, we were just having this conversation before you came on. It was like, we've got X number of shows to book this year, so who are we going to put on them? We need more matches and more shows and more spaces just to get the people on that we want. Yeah. Because we're saying no to people that are ridiculous. You shouldn't be saying no to the people that we're saying no to, and it's not because we don't want them or we haven't got space. And we get messages from wrestlers and they'll be like, you should look at this guy,
or we can get them over from between, or
that's fine. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. The problem is, who am I getting rid of to put them on the show? It is the most stacked. I've been around British wrestling for too long. Probably the best part of 15 years.
You're feeling old now.
Suddenly just realised how long it's actually been. And it is, I reckon it is as stacked now as it's ever been, if not more.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even stacked with it's stacked with talent. There's a difference, isn't it? There's a difference between being stacked, but stacked with talent that you're saying no to these names and you're like, I want them in, but there's no room for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was having a chat with Charles Crowley recently, who obviously we've had on loads, and he's fantastic. Probably one of the best characters in British wrestling. And I'm going, yeah, I'd love to use you, mate. I just don't know where.
I think that's the fact we can't muddy the waters with too many storylines as well. We are storyline centric. It needs to make sense if we're going to have someone on the show.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think my biggest thing, and you kind of hit it there nice, is storylines, which is great because my big gripe, and I've said this to a few people in BritWres, is everything's just not necessarily with you guys, but in terms in general, everything's just the same. Like the same matches are happening. You go to watch a show. I'm not going to name names, but Progress. But you go to watch a show, and it is every match is let's just have the most competitive match. Time, and it's all the same. And for me, I like that. And someone called it, I can't remember, someone called it a circus with me with what I like. I like the variety of you have a tag, have a heavyweight, cruiserweight, women, everything like that. And it seems as if you're emphasizing on the storylines, which is also missing from BritWres these days.
Yeah, completely. That has always been our salient point, right back from when we booked Day One, as it was back in 2018 at the OFS in Oxford. It was, let's focus. What can we do differently? What's going to be our USP? Well, what separates us from all the other phenomenal companies that are around? And there are so many amazing wrestling companies around the UK, and it was like, well, hang on, we can do this. We can do long-term storytelling. We don't have to do a single show where it's all one and done. And that's what we've tried the hardest to do basically ever since.
I think you once when you sort of first started out, wrestling is the soap opera in spandex.
Yeah, it is. Yes,
and that's kind of what we've run with. The story can be anything we want it to be within reason. But it's something that you don't see a lot on the BritWres scene. Like you said, you do tend to go to a show, say down south, and then go up to another one north, and somewhere in the middle, and they're all kind of given the same sort of thing. And we want to back that trend.
I do find with some wrestling companies as well, they try to ignore what is going on in other companies.
Yeah,
and I kind of think that's stupid because fans aren't
fans
stupid.
Follow.
They know what they're doing. Like you were saying with Ignite, we use so many of the same people at Ignite that they do know that Tommy Carl's the number one baby face over there. He's the top guy. But for us, he's a nasty piece of work. But why can't we do that? Why is it? Why can't you? Well, I've got issues with the guys here at United, and that's why I've got to be the way I'm being.
Yeah. No, exactly that. And you're right. Tommy Carl is the number one guy at the moment at Ignite, and the last show that he had, the fans were banging the ring because he beat Spike Trivet in a great match, and he's got Tate Mayfair's coming up at time of recording this week. No, the time of recording when this goes out this week, that weekend. At time of it's amazing. It's amazing how people, you say, don't do that. But going back to 2018, maybe even 2017, what made you decide? And this is a great, I'm going to do a wrestling company. And how long is that process from I want to first show?
So the short answer is I don't know. I honestly cannot remember. I vaguely remember. So I was training as a wrestler for what was the Projo, became Knuckle Locks.
Yeah.
I've also trained a Hustle and a little bit of UBW as well. No matter what I did, I just couldn't seem to get on shows. I don't know if the message I wasn't putting out, but I was always told, "You're really good. You're really good. You should be good at this." But I was never getting on the shows, and it was really starting to frustrate me. And then I don't know how I went from that point to sitting down with Pete and our former. There was three of us. There was Craig as well from Hellfire Designs.
Yeah.
Sitting down, going, "Oh, we should do this." I don't know how we went from that to that.
From my memory, it was you and Craig had obviously done. I guess back in the early days of YouTube, sort of video in your back garden.
We did,
as many people do.
Wrestling thing,
so I guess you've always had a passion for it.
Please don't go looking for
it.
Not good.
But there's you've always had that passion for it.
Yeah, it kind of dated back. the conversation between me, so me and Craig set up the company originally, and then Pete came in later on. And it kind of went roughly along the sort of time of the NXT UK tournament, the first one where Pete Dunne won. Me and Craig were sat in Blackpool, watching this tournament, and we're like, we could do this. Surely we could do this. It probably was one of those conversations, where you've had a few to drink and you kind of go, we should start a bar or we should start a band. It kind of like that. And it grew and grew and grew to a point of like, no, do you know what? We could do this. I think we know enough that we could do this.
I think you just brought me along for kind of the third vote, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, in my experience is just a little bit in event organising and so on. So they were to hopefully put a little bit of shape to the form. But this is very much myself. I consider this Mike's baby, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. We hope we can take it forward to great success.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. From what I hear from people that have been to it, I speak to people that have been to it. Obviously, I hear from the talk of the wrestlers as well when I'm upstairs at Ignite how great it is and the stuff that you do. So I've no doubt about that. At what point did you, bearing on you going up to your first show now, you've gone for it, you've got this, you've decided you're going to do it. It's show week, as I call it. When do you that nerves start kicking in at that first show? And do you still feel those nerves from the first show now?
So the very first show we ever organised was at a school in Oxford because that was the thing in Brit Rest. That's what you did. You went to school. And we were about 2 weeks away from the event, and I got a phone call from the school asking us to pay some money. And I was like, and we were like, well, hang on, mate, we've paid. He's like, no, we've doubled the cost of the hall.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just not, you can't do that. It's just, this is our first ever show. We didn't really know what we were doing. We know no equity going into it. It was, and so in the end, we made the decision to cancel that show. We then waited until 2018 to do and we found the new venue. That's when we found the OFS, the old fire station in Oxford, and did our first show there. But the nerves leading up to that show was like unbelievable, because it was like, hang on, the last show got cancelled. There were people that didn't want to work with us, and rightly so, because we had to let them down. We didn't know. I thought I knew enough about how to do it. I didn't. It was a simple answer. I just didn't. Knowing what I know now, I really didn't know. The nerves just off the chart, absolutely off the chart. And we'd also, between the two of us, we'd made a decision that we were going to host it as well, having never done anything like that previously.
There were so many things that did go wrong and could have gone wrong. And even the venue then, it wasn't the best of situations. The old fire station is a theatre. It's performing arts. I think the maximum capacity of 35, 40.
The max capacity was 100.
We once got a ring in there.
Our first show, we had 34 people in the audience.
We made the best of it. It was well received. We sold another show after that,
and completely sold the place out.
Yeah, so it wasn't the worst of starts, obviously.
No.
But I think we found our groove. Certainly, once we moved to
Tap Social was the real moment when we moved there. When was that? 2022, 23? Yeah, 22.
Yes, we did
1st of May. Yeah, 1st of May
as well. So
1st of May 2022. Day 5 was our 5th show at Tap Social. It was our first show at Tap Social, but our 5th show we'd ever done. And it was like, oh, we've got something here. I remember I was talking to CJ Carter, like you said, from Ignite, and he was like, mate, you've got lightning in a bottle here.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we've got something.
You kind of nicked my next question, which was, when did you realise you had something? And it was right then. This is great. Amazingly enough, you've answered that question. But look, we hear it all the time, and the advice I give to a lot of people when they say about running a wrestling company, and I don't know, I don't run it. I'm fortunate enough to have a title with Ignite. I'm fortunate enough to be able to bring people in for that title match. But I don't get involved in anything else, and I don't think I want to because I hear enough of it. And other than the words "don't do it," what's the one thing that people don't know about booking a wrestling show that perhaps they should know about booking?
Be adaptable.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can make every plan you want, but 24 hours beforehand, something's going to change.
Yeah.
And you could be right up to 10 minutes before a match. Something you might need to pivot.
Yeah. So like day 5, so first show at Tap Social, like I say, it was something special. I was rewriting the show on a bit of paper, sat on the bench in the rain outside the Tap Social the morning of the show. Jeez. Because there were so many changes and dramas and different things going on. Just if you're going to do it, I think it's an amazing thing to do. Do it for the right reasons, but be willing to be very, very adaptable.
Yeah, I mean, as you probably know, we've managed to kind of co-produce stuff with Ignite in the past. Buckle Up 1 and 2, and is there going to be a Buckle Up 3? Maybe. I don't know. But again, we leave a lot of that stuff to CJ, and he, I do get the stress messages from him, but it's like the rest of it we do. So we've had the privilege of doing that. My advice is don't, to be quite honest with you, because I've seen and heard, I've seen enough of it to know that as you say, you've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to think on the fly. You're going to get these messages in the morning. Oh, I'm injured. Sorry, I can't, and you're like, shit, and then you're like, people that come and help end up wrestling, right? And
absolutely. And you can have, the thing is, you can have an injury that can ruin a whole year's worth of planning.
Yeah,
we had that last year in 2024. The whole year had been set up for this one match. It was all going to work, and unfortunately, one of them picked up an injury, and it just wasn't able to happen the way it was going to. It was still fantastic. We still got that moment. We still did a really good job on it.
Yeah,
but you just kind of got to go, okay, so that's happening.
Yeah,
roll with the punches.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's adaptability of crazy, really. You really have to be adaptable. But before we get into plans for 2025 and everything, and for full disclosure for everyone, I did send them a couple of questions that I was going to ask during the show, just because most times out of 10, I get people to think on the fly, but some questions are a bit more difficult to be able to think on the fly than that. So the first question was, if you had an opportunity to bring in a talent from AEW, from WWE, and from TNA, so one from each, who would they be? But I'm going to add to that question. Oh, no, I didn't add to it. I added to the question when I sent it to you. And who would you put them against?
Okay. So the biggest problem I have with that is I don't watch a lot of televised wrestling.
What?
But I'm aware, I'm certainly catching up with WWE now. It's on Netflix, which is amazing. And the partnership with TNA is even better. That's fantastic. Yes. So from AEW, the first person that came to mind, strangely, was Pac.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that, but I'll get onto that in a minute. Mm-hmm. And likewise, from WWE, the first person was Pete Dunne. Yeah. Because when me and Craig were sat down trying to plan the very first show, both those two people were not currently signed.
And
we're like, that was going to be the main event. I was like, let's have Pac versus Pete Dunne. Main event, that's a hell of a match.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I could bring anybody from anywhere, I think it'd be those and put them together.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing.
At TNA, the only one I could, apart from Jeff Hardy, who is like, please let me have Jeff Hardy. Like, honestly, would be Jordana Grace.
Oh, okay.
Just think she's phenomenal.
Yeah, and she may be going. Well, by all intents and purposes, she's going to one of the other two promotions that you've already spoke about. So that is. I would imagine. Do you know what? Jordynne Grace and Artemis has a good ring to it.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. The other one was Danny Luna, but I know she's also taking independent booking, so I was trying to go a little bit further.
See. That would be good. That would also be good. I'm going to ask you the second question, and the third question we'll leave until the end, just because it's a bit more. So I know that you've always said Tap Social, brilliant venue, love it. But if you could select one place, again, any place in the UK to run a show which would sell out, just as a, where would it be?
I think we joked for a long time that you should always have something to aim towards. Let's aim towards that. If we never get there, it's fine. We should always aim towards it.
Yeah.
We always said, being Oxford is our hometown, wouldn't it be great to do a stadium show in the Kassam Stadium, which is Oxford United Stadium, as long as it lasts. It's not the best stadium, but it's our hometown, and it's kind of like that would be amazing to put. I don't even know what the capacity of that venue is. I'd have to look it up, but it would just be great to have a full capacity stadium show in there, in our hometown. That would be, for me, that would be like, yeah, we did something there.
I think, we've always had that dream.
Yeah. There's beautiful venues all around the country. For us, that would be let's get there. That'd be an amazing place to do.
12,500 is your.
There you go. Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah,
take
in there.
And that's cheap as well. That's without putting people on the field.
Put on the field as well.
Yeah, exactly. That would be incredible. And going back to the venues that you use, and what makes the Tap Social such an iconic venue for you guys?
Oh, good question. Well, the Tap is. I mean,
it's just dirty.
It's grungy.
It's dirty in a good way.
Yeah. I remember we were down there and we were sat with Hakan, and he was like, "This is real Rasgal feels, the Resistance Gallery." He's like, "That's what it feels like." And I kind of sat there and went, "Yeah, do you know what? You're kind of right. It is that kind of grungy. It's not the big spectacle with all the show lights and massive entrance ways and pyro going off. There's a stairway and people walk down a stairway. They get in the ring and they have a scrap.
That's why they don't come off the balcony.
If they don't, unless you're Scotty Walk and then you jump off the balcony. But it's just, I think it's that kind of realism of, no, this is down dirty. This is your WWE Underground.
You say it feels a bit more underground. It just feels like.
Yeah. And it is just a lovely venue. Genuinely a lovely venue. The backstage area really helps as well. So there's a whole mezzanine floor, which is where the backstage area is, which means instead of being cramped up or in separate little rooms, everyone can just mingle together and sort of, help each other out. And it's just full of like-minded individuals supporting each other. And that's something that's we've really prided ourselves on, is that backstage area needs to be a lovely place to be. Because they are coming to work. Yes, they do it and they get paid for it and they love it. But you are coming to work. You want to be happy when you come to work. Yeah. So that, for me, I think that's it. Plus, let's be honest, they make amazing beer.
They do.
They do fantastic beer.
It's important to say they're obviously not our only venue.
They're not our only venue, but that is our home venue. So.
That is definitely the home. That's the one. It's the one I've been told to go to. So that's obviously there's obviously a reason.
Get told to go to
if you're going to introduce yourself to United Wrestling, that's where to head.
That's our go. We refer to it as the flagship. I mean, arguably, it's not even arguably, the Double Barrel Brewery, which is again just stunning, is twice the size, and we fill it out every single time.
Yeah,
but still, the Tap Social will be the flagship.
Wow. Well, I need to go and see it, definitely, for sure. But you do have a show coming up Sunday, February the 23rd.
We do. Yep. I've not forgotten the name of
it. Broken Hearts and Broken Parts.
It's just yeah.
Can't take anything.
Yeah, it was the Wrestling Outsiders that named it. We did a social media thing and asked people to name the show. That was one of the 4 that we selected, put it out as a vote, and that was the one that most people voted for. So thank you to them for choosing, because it's a great name. Yes, back in Oxford, first one back this year, and what a card!
Well, I've seen a few names on there. Yeah. You got our good friend Scotty Rourke.
We have.
You got Tommy Kyle. You got Aluna.
Yeah.
Wild Boar, which if anyone's never seen that, do you know, I've never seen such a Jekyll and Hyde person. Like when he's in the ring, the guy's an absolute animal. Yeah. But he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet outside.
Yeah, honestly, Boar is the scariest person I've ever met in my life. But Mike Hitchman is lovely.
Literally is that. And Levi Muir as well, right? Is he? Which is a really interesting one. I saw him quite recently over at Prodigy, and he's a specimen, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's part of our super heavyweight tournament that we've been running to focus on the bigger side of people. We noticed that, especially at our Reading venue, that we were naturally focused on the kind of bigger people in wrestling, as in the physical size. So we started running this tournament, and Levi Muir versus Brazen in a super heavyweight tournament, which is great.
It's quite interesting how you said you focus on the super heavyweights because you don't really see that a lot enough now, do you? It's a lot more like I feel as if the wrestler's perception of a wrestler has changed. Like if you go back to when I was growing up, it was Hogan, Andre, but nowadays you look at it now and it's like you look at someone like Seth Rollins just as a prime example, or in the UK scene, you look at even someone like a Chris Aries or a Tommy Kyle. It's like that is what you see now as the wrestler.
Yeah. Although, I mean, have you sing the laps on Tommy Kyle?
Yeah, to be carrying too many belts. That's what it is. Guys, we're going to start wrapping up now. So I'm going to have to ask you the last question. Now, you've done a lot of shows, as you mentioned, at United. What is your favourite match that you've ever put on at United?
We spoke about this earlier, and honestly, we will choose something because I can't stand it when people don't choose something. But it has been seriously the hardest thing because there have been some phenomenal matches,
and not just in here,
the kind of short list. Chris Aries versus Haskins, Haskins versus Danny Black.
Yeah.
Any of the Scotty Rourke versus Kira Primera 3. They had a best of 3. Any of those matches. I really liked Scotty Rourke and Josh Spicer at the last show we did at the end of last year. It was proper unsung hero of the show. I thought it was really, really good, and it just showed how far Spicer has grown.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want storytelling, the Luna and Artemis match, that was just beautiful storytelling throughout.
It's what moments? You've got Simon Quest.
Simon Quest, yeah. And again, the Simon Quest Art for Scuro.
Yeah.
I think, realistically, best match...
I'm not deciding because I'm told them.
I'm going to go Jay Joshua, Leon Cage.
I was going to...
One of the two that they had. Their 2 matches kind of back-to-back, both unannounced, and they were both absolutely outstanding.
I don't doubt it. With those two, I do not doubt. But you've also, before we start going, you've also got a YouTube channel.
Yep. So we got it's just official United Wrestling UK, and we are slowly getting everything back on there. Sorry, it's just me that does the editing, so it takes a bit of time. But eventually, everything will be on there. Please go and give us a like and subscribe on there. It does show us that you care. Yes, that's what it means.
Yeah, subscribe is follow on YouTube. Yeah.
You have to hit the bell. Hit the bell.
That's it. Hit the bell. So you get notifications when you guys upload. But is there any more of the dates that you can announce for this year, for 2025, other than the 23rd?
So you've got all our dates on our social media, bar one. So you've got May, July, August, September, October, December, already on our social media. And we've literally thrown in an extra day in... It was April?
April the
13th.
Yes.
April 13th. We're going back to Wantage, which we did once last year, which is a beautiful, stunning venue. It's a nightclub run by a really nice couple. And we're going back there. So that will be April 13th.
Brilliant. And where can everyone get the tickets for the shows?
They're all on Eventbrite. So just go on Eventbrite, search up United Wrestling. They're on you can use our QR code on our flyers, or there's many, many links on all our social media.
And go for the social media hit now. Where can they get you on social media?
So primarily Facebook and Instagram for us, which is just United Wrestling UK. We are on Twitter, X, which is official UWUK. I don't use it as much. I'm more of an Instagram and Facebook person, but we're there as well. But yeah, Instagram, hit us up.
Yeah, hit them up, guys. Honestly, get that. We will definitely get there. Because I know I'm going to get pelters from Chris Aries and people if I don't get to a show this year. I have promised him that we will get there, so we will definitely get there. Guys, make sure you get there too. As you say, go on Eventbrite, hit United Wrestling, they're all there. You will not be disappointed at any shows. But coming up on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, 3 letters, Rob, Van, Dan will be joining us very soon on the show to have a wonderful chat about something called Only Wrestlers. the mind boggles upon that. But guys, go and check us out. HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on Instagram, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on TikTok and on Blue Sky. We'll be back next week with some more shows. But until then, everybody, they have been United Wrestling. We have been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.